art tournament, and tonight we are going to celebrate some incredible artists by sharing their performance, and then we're going to get to vote for the best to advance to the final round, and then on to local, national, and world championships. We've got 12 talented local artists that are going to compete in two 20-minute rounds of live art. Y'all get to walk around and watch it happen. It's absolutely amazing. We're going to have 6 artists kick it off here in just a few minutes. And then we'll have a round 2 later on. And hopefully we have some more wild card folks signing up. And at the end we will have a final round with the final 4. They'll go on to a 30-minute round. We want to say thank you to our sponsors, Big Blue and Junk Busting JV Construction, and our many friends and volunteers. Can we just give it up for those sponsors and our volunteers? If you haven't already, we've got a selfie station over here to the west by the parking garage side of Big Blue. Please go take a selfie, post it online. Hashtag, it's all about the hashtags. Art Battle and hashtag Art Battle WF. The bathrooms again over here on the west side. Debbie wants to make sure that y'all know that the Wi-Fi is back up and running, so purchases can be made at the fried pie station over here, supplied by Circle M Bakery, and also we're selling t-shirts and hats. We have Stone Oven Pizza cooking up a storm over there, and don't forget to get your Beast rolled ice cream. It is perfectly delicious.
All right, I can't wait to get my ice cream. Morgan, how about you? Ice cream time?
All about the ice cream time.
If I know you, your ice cream is Red Bull flavored.
I literally was just about to make that joke. I'm drinking my Red Bull right now.
Okay, good. Well, I got my cup of Earl Grey tea with homegrown maple syrup. I'm just bringing some Canadian action down to Wichita Falls, Texas, and we are very happy to be here.
I am super excited for tonight's event. I love Wichita Falls art battles. It's such a unique energy.
Absolutely. They really know how to do it. Of course, for any big art battle fans who are following along, the Wichita Falls, Texas was the site of this year's U.S. National Championship. We had almost 1,000 people in quite a huge venue, the MPEC, the Multi-Purpose Event Center in Wichita Falls. And this event is going to be a regular season event, but you are still no doubt going to see some fantastic talent from these great artists
around.
Amazing. I just restarted the recording. Do you mind saying that? Do you mind saying that little section again?
Yeah, for sure. And in round number 1, we have quite the breadth of styles that are going to be represented by these 6 artists. We've got some very textural landscapes coming up, some more illustrative portraits I'm expecting as well, and also a few abstract artists thrown in there too. So interested to see the array of work that we get in this 20-minute round.
Well, fantastic. No doubt there has been some careful curation. This event is put on in partnership with the Wichita Falls Artists Association. So an incredible group of artists down there, including, we didn't catch it here on the live video, at least not for you guys since we just started the stream, but Leif Mcgillian, who is not a Wichita Falls artist, but he has been hanging out in Wichita Falls after, he was this year's New York City champion. And got to know some folks down in Wichita Falls, having traveled there for the national championship. And he is here in the audience tonight and was painting earlier. So maybe we'll see if we can pop up some of Leif's work in the inter-round period.
Yeah, I did get a chance to see and kind of peek at what he did in the first round, and it was awesome. I'm sure that we'll be able to convince our camera guy to swing on by.
Yes, exactly. Great. Amazing. Okay, if you're watching with us out in the interwebs, please feel free to say hi. And we're watching the comments on both YouTube and Facebook. I'm actually noting here our Facebook stream is not on yet, but that's okay. It's actually not scheduled to start for a few moments, but I'm going to manually start it right now. Boom. All right, and here we are for the Art Battle 2322 in Wichita Falls, Texas. We are just getting rolling. For those of us who are just joining us, my name is Simon Plashkus, co-founder of Art Battle. I'm here with your live stream host, Morgan Booth.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Gotta say that I'm especially excited for tonight's live stream. Wichita Falls is a really special art battle city, and it has a really unique supportive energy. So I feel like there's going to be such good vibes tonight.
Amazing. Let's tune into the venue and see what we hear.
So let's give a warm welcome to Rocky! Painting at easel number 2, we have Tiffany Morrow. She is a multimedia artist who specializes in creating a wide range of bold and vibrant pieces inspired by nature. Let's make some noise for Tiffany Morrow! Painting at easel number 3, we have Slagle. He presents a dark, abstract style that mixes aggression and passivity. Jason at easel number 3 excels at making complex pieces that challenge the viewer. Please put your hands together for Jason! Easel number 4, we have Kayla Hazelton. She is an artist whose style is heavily steeped in anime and comics, but who has the range to branch out into more traditional forms of art. Let's show some love for Kayla! Easel number 5, we've got Coco Karma. She is a character artist that loves to explore their subjects and express what the world rarely gets to see. Let's hear it for Coco! And painting at easel number 6, we have BC Gilbert. He is a triple threat artist, sculptor, graphic designer, and a mixed media artist who utilizes a bright palette and a light touch to create pieces that always please the audience. Let's give a huge round of applause for BC! Okay, we've got 20 minutes on the clock up here. Let's do a 5-second countdown. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's paint! Y'all are free to come up and walk around.
All right,
Y'all
let's
are free
paint.
to come up and walk around.
Yeah. Go ahead, Morgan.
We now have 20 minutes on the clock for round number 1. So these artists are well on their way to creating these masterpieces. Blank canvas to masterpiece in only 20 minutes.
So do you know which artist we're starting off with here?
I believe that this is Coco Karma.
Okay,
And-
loving the yellow from Coco Karma.
Although, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit anxious about the way that she's laid out her palette with that black right beside the yellow. A little bit risky there.
And it seems we have a yellow theme going on tonight, at least for the first two artists we're taking a look at here.
Yeah, this is BC Gilbert, and I'm not gonna lie, this is the artist that I'm most excited about seeing.
Oh, great! What are you hoping to see?
So BC is actually, so he does paint, but is more well known in the community as a sculptor. He does these absolutely enormous welded metal sculptures. So I'm really interested to see how that translates into this kind of 2D space.
Amazing. Oh, look at this. I really like the classic illustrator's cross there in the middle to make sure to get the proportions of the face right. It's kind of neat. I mean, I don't know if that's going to survive through to the final work, so I have to keep an eye on that and see how that shines through or not.
Yeah, 2 minutes in, and I believe this is Kayla Hazelton, and quite a good start as far as 2 minutes goes in laying down all of those proportions. And this big circle in the face as well. I'm wondering if that's a part of the underdrawing or if that's going to be coming through into the portrait later.
I think it's a Last Airbender reference.
Oh.
Okay, very cool. I don't know if this is a portrait and we're seeing noses and eyes here, but I don't think so.
So Jason Slagle, he is kind of our representing abstract artist. And we've seen him paint before, and he does these really, really carefully delineated color spaces, which I think that's where we're going with this as well. But I definitely get what you're saying about the potential for this to read as a portrait as well.
I think it's going to be the delineated color spaces, but it's fun, that's especially this early stage, only a little over 7 minutes in. A lot of the paintings can read as your imagination will allow. It's not always true, of course. We have a pretty clear horse here. And I appreciate that that's very on brand with the artist with the feather in the cap. You always get some on Texas brand artists coming out of our Dallas and Wichita Falls shows.
Absolutely. I'm really digging the movement in this piece already. Lots of like really aggressive kind of gestural paint strokes here.
Mm-hmm. And the palette with the sketched out with the black first and then the light blue over top is an interesting move, and I think it's really working.
Yeah, and incidentally matching the artist's outfit too.
Yes, that's always especially appreciated when they take it to that level.
I think that is Tiffany Nicole, and then I believe that this is Raquelle Richard. And Raquelle is a nurse, and in her artist application, she was talking about using art as a stress management tool, which I thought was really cool. And then also I was kind of relating that back to, like, she must be really great at handling the pressure of art battle.
Yeah, I like there's a bit of a bent horizon landscape aspect to this that I'm really digging. It's kind of cool, like sort of warped through a lens. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely has like a glowing quality going on with some subtle gradient work in there. So back with BC, and I think that we're getting, I'm going to say a floral still life.
Wow. That, the yellow border with this incredible gradient that is already in here with this gradient of this sort of purple blue with the lighter purple in the middle. I'm really digging it. And I think we're going to see some kind of a fruit or a carrot or some kind of a garden creation here, or a tornado.
Could be, yeah, it could be flower tornado. Could be lots of possibilities still open here, but I like what you were saying about the purple to blue gradient. And something I want to point out with that piece is that he's drawing and planning this painting, but using a navy to do that. So often we see artists working in a black to do that, and the fact that BC is using a navy just allows so much more softness, and I think it's going to be a lot more blendable with any colors that he puts beside it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See, the audience is up and moving around. They're taking a look, starting to figure out who they might vote for. You too can vote. Head over to artbattle.com/vote and throw in your name and phone number, and we will send you a special ballot voting link where you can not only vote but also bid. Oh my gosh, Morgan, look at the gradient and the perspective work on this piece. Blown away.
Yeah, the perspective work alone is massively impressive in what is it, 7 minutes now? And then
Yeah.
that on top of this like gorgeous glowing gradient that is definitely just like bringing us into this sunset space.
That's really, I don't know, I'm really into this. I hope I hope we see some sort of more sort of refined line work that sort of highlights that out. But I think that's probably exactly where this artist is headed.
And back with Kayla here. And what are you digging about this portrait here, Sai?
Well, it's continued to sort of evolve along a straight curve, and really, obviously the proportions. There's been a lot of attention paid to the proportions here, and I also like that this is purely, not even monochromatic, but we're dealing with, monochromatic. We're dealing with just this one pink color and no color blending. So I don't think that's where we'll end up, but it's cool to have the audience sort of get accustomed to this, and then introduce some other elements towards the latter half of the painting.
What I'm really digging about it is that so much of it is so soft and washy, and now we're seeing Kayla putting on kind of these more concentrated pops of color, and that's definitely indicative of her studio work. We have all of these artists' Instagrams up on the Art Battle Wichita Falls Instagram, so you'll be able to go over there and check out kind of what their studio work looks like, but you'll definitely recognize Kayla's style.
And Jason here, note he's paid very close attention to extending the work on the sides of the canvas. That's a bit of a trademark of his and is a really choice. It especially as a painting that you might consider to participate in the auction with this painting, it really takes it up a notch. It's something that you absolutely do not need to frame. You can just put that straight on your wall. It's
so pro. Like, that's always one of my absolute favorite moves at Art Battle. I just feel like it's a very considered approach, and just makes me go like, okay, Jason did not come to play tonight.
No, absolutely. And what is that? The paint that he's working with, it's got an interesting applicator of relatively more liquidy paint, but incredible pigment there. That blue that just came out of that bottle. I might have to send him a little note and say, hey, what's going on with that? Because that's I haven't seen that before.
Yeah, I wonder if it might be that he's brought some ink with him potentially.
Gina lets us know that she thinks that's soft body Liquitex.
Well, thanks to our HQ expert, Gina.
Yeah, very good.
And back with Tiffany here and this horse. And something that I noticed about Tiffany's work right away when I was checking it out earlier today is that there's always really dynamic poses in the animals that she's painting. And we're definitely seeing that here with the bend of the neck in this horse. And back with Raquelle here. Still going into this kind of glowing, curved landscape. And
is it a hilltop or is it a body of water? I don't know. It's interesting. It's funny we're seeing fall colors We're not there yet in the north. It's still very green. I don't know if this is what she's seeing when she looks outside. I wouldn't be surprised. It's a little bit dry and hot down there. But nice to be reminded that fall is coming.
And so much texture in these colors as well. And then converging on this orb, I'm wondering if this is leaning more into the abstract, and that we're just like, that's kind of the beauty of it, is that it's giving us landscape and it's giving us abstract.
Mm. This is a great piece. The color choice in that border and the different sort of color blocking. It's almost like a tile, like a floor tile, one of those artistic floor tiles you might get. There's sort of these strong defined areas and intense colors, and I think it is a tornado. I think that's what we're seeing here. It's kind of a pictogram of a tornado.
Yeah, it's so cool the way that he's kind of created these defined spaces within the composition, and mostly just based in color. I really like how unconventional it is with that really saturated orange.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the yellow border just makes it sets it off, and it creates a sense of it being a finished piece no matter what point we're coming to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's something you might see added at the end, but in this case, it was truly the first piece, which I think expresses a lot of confidence. Although you can see there's a tiny bit of it crosses the border a couple of times to work, but that's an easy fix at the end. So we'll have to see. Watch that right side yellow border, see what happens there.
Oh man, this becomes just even more colorful every time we come around it, and Coco's ability to create this space that is converging and that we feel like we're walking into it. I'm digging.
This is very first person view. You're coming down to the waterfront. Are we in Thailand? I don't know. That's a bit of a pagoda situation going on there.
Yeah, I want to go.
I want to go. Sold. All inclusive. Here we come.
And then the contrast of the branches being added in blue. So there are some more traditional color choices here, like in the sunset colors, but also a lot of unconventional colors, which I'm really enjoying, like the pink on the ground and the blue in the branches.
Yeah, it's very Technicolor and beautiful choices. I mean, you wouldn't. If you saw that on a palette, you said, "Look, here's the plan." It might be hard to visualize and see that in a good way, but obviously that plan has come through very much.
I like
so interesting.
The nose circle.
What's really odd about the nose circle is I think that she actually had a pretty solid nose on there before. So there's a bit of a journey that we're going on here. I mean, she fully sketched out a very competent and effective nose. And now it's kind of been blasted away by the nose circle. I wonder what this means, if anything.
I think,
but I like the intensity of the character.
Yeah, I think that it's like the circles are representing a blush in the cheeks, and then I think that redness is carrying over onto the nose, but she's chosen stylistically to represent it in the same way as the cheeks. I'm getting kind of like bratty vibes from this character, and I really like it. It's reminding me of Sailor Moon's bratty little sister.
Very good. Oh, look, Jason's in his box there. He's got I don't even think it's reference work. I think it's just other work to show off sticking out of this paint box there. It is awesome. They're like the little siblings of this larger painting. Yeah. Love it.
He's displaying his series.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a little hint. If you're looking for a commission in this style, Jason absolutely has you covered. Give him a call.
The sienna, I think, is a really great choice. It's more neutral than some of the other high saturation colors, and I think that that's what's providing balance to this composition. That like the browny goldness.
For me, the relation between the browny goldness and that light blue in the bottom left and bottom right. Oh, and top sort of middle.
Mhm.
I'm really liking the relation between those because I really think they counterpoint each other nicely.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, and a flip. And some drips.
Flip and drip.
He's gonna brush that out. This is very efficient paint application.
That technique, it's efficient application, but it's also, there's a display of risk and mastery in it too, because you're dripping onto this very, very carefully executed piece.
Yeah. A drip that crossed the boundaries there would really break it, I think. So good work, Jason, on the confidence there. I appreciate that.
And then from Tiffany here, I like the way that she's like just dancing in these highlights into the hair. We just saw her kind of like feathering that in.
Mm-hmm. And what brush was she using for that? The one she's currently got? Oh yeah. Look at that. Very cool. But using the long way of the brush and a little wave, just as you say, feathering it in. Very nice. Yeah,
and then the way that the hair on the face that is kind of cascading over the face, I like the way that the directions of each hair are different. It's kind of creating a present space. It's taking up more area than it actually is by using that directionality.
Yeah, very good.
I wish that you guys could see me. There's so many hand gestures happening over here.
Okay, it is a body of water. Seems a fast flowing one, although maybe a fountain. I think we're definitely seeing a bit of a sunset. It's so strange though. It doesn't make sense to have the sun there, like sort of burning away the foliage, but I'm liking this. This piece has gotten better and better each time we've seen it. So very good.
Yeah, I definitely am getting a sense that there's an intentionality to this level of abstraction here.
Yeah. And I'm still digging this sort of twisted, warped perspective. I think that's still in play, and this is good. This is a nice piece. That's very much a piece that you could display in a room in your home. And it's enough for consideration, and the colors are fantastic.
And speaking of displaying these works, all of these works are available for silent auction at the link that is displayed on the screen right now, artbattle.com/vote, which is also your voting link. You guys are going to choose your favorite artist from this round, and the top 2 artists as voted by the audience will then move on into a final round.
Look, he did fix that yellow. Nice work.
I know, that's hard. Yellow is not an easy one to fix.
No, it's not. Oh, No, he's making a border, like a more texture and depth holding border.
Oh, that's cool. A good decision.
Yeah. Only 40 seconds remaining. 40 seconds remaining in this round. We would like your votes. Head over to artbattle.com/vote and help us choose the winner. Everyone gets a vote.
I really like the odd color in the foreground in this pink, like with the green kind of playing.
It's definitely the best part of this. The perspective plus this intense, almost like hallucinogenic color choice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's the strangeness.
Cool. Yeah. All right, and we are 5 seconds. And there we go. Brushes down. Oh, this is an artist who is. Look at the intensity. I love that.
Yeah.
Morgan, remind us of this artist's name.
Kayla Hazelton.
Right. Kayla has mixed feelings about this work, but I love it. I think it's great, and I'm thrilled that we're seeing it all done in just one color, and now signed with a pink highlighter to match. Very cool.
That's thought out.
Yeah, very much. Good. Getting all those signatures in there. So voting is open now, and voting for round 1 will continue through to the end of round 2, where we will then quickly identify the winners of round 1 and round 2 for a 4-way final.
I can't wait. It's going to be hard for me to pick who I want to vote for. Do I want to vote for our grumpy anime here that I really like? I really like the attitude. Or do I want to vote for the environment that Coco's created that I want to so badly explore?
Jason's work is fantastic here. And I do think that there's an element of a portrait figure that it's teasing it, right? It's like it's not there. It is an abstract piece, but your brain keeps trying to recognize from these shapes that are. Oh, they're saying something. Should we listen in? Maybe he's explaining this exactly.
It just depends how you view it, what angle you view it from. Is a mustache on there? Sure. Remember, it's abstract art, so use your imagination.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna switch everybody out and hang tight. If you haven't already, get your pizza, your beef rolled ice cream. If you haven't already, get your pizza,
All right.
your beef rolled ice cream.
Very, very cool. A very strong first round. I don't even know. I don't know who's going to make it to the final. A lot of it comes down to the audience preference and choice, and that includes you, audience, if you're joining us here. So please, my favorite part about this painting, I wanted to say earlier, is the way that the horse head is sitting on this. It's not a body. It's not a horse body, but if it was a body, it's more of a human body. Like the size and like the shoulderness of this lower half of this painting, which is really a beautiful abstract painting in its own right, makes this horse feel like it's almost like a horse in a suit or like a horse standing up, and that's really elevating it for me on that painting.
Yeah, that makes me look at it in a little bit of a different way. I like that perspective.
This painting worked out fantastically well. There were points where I was worried about it, but one of the best. Very nice work.
Yeah, the blue around this kind of abstracted sun, the way that it's not quite touching the rest of the foliage, is a point of tension for me, but it's a good tension.
Mm-hmm. And I really like the sun is centered, and the water feature, whatever that is, some kind of a whale spout, is off center, but then leading to the center. So there's a lot of perspective and balance and symmetry and broken symmetry at play there. This is a great piece. I really want to see the full tarot deck from this artist. I think it would be really fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool piece, and there's a maturity in the way that it was executed. Like, you can definitely tell that that's not a new style to BC, that this is a visual language that he's used to using, and we can see that it looks very confident.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are we're getting ready for round two. The artists are getting ready, and we're going to take a small break here. And I will see if I can pull up the work that Leif did in the opening round here.
So round number 2 coming up very shortly. Our team in Wichita Falls will be just turning over the easels and getting all of our round number 2 artists ready as well. We're going to have another 6 artists. And again, we are really lucky in round number 2. Lots of different styles coming
Wichita
up. We're not going to
Falls
see a lot of the
Artists
same.
Association.
Easel number 5.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Going to be seeing a lot of different styles in round number 2 as well. So please stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss that. And again, our team in Wichita Falls is super, super effective. So we won't be gone for long. They are sure to be starting round number 2 very shortly.
Fantastic. Be right back.
She's your baby? She's your baby, okay. All right, Serenity Dragon. Please make your way to the haters.
You won the wild card.
Haters section.
Her mother won the wild card.
We will wish you Serenity. And make sure when you vote, you have to like hit vote and then confirm.
All right, we are getting set for round two. As you can see there, our round two artists getting ready. A couple of cool characters over there. Who's that all in red? Love that outfit. We'll meet them later.
Yeah, that
Round
artist
two.
is looking pretty badass.
portray their subjects. Let's show some love for Mr. XIM. All right, without further ado, let's give them a countdown. I hope y'all are ready. All right, let's do a 5 countdown. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start your art. Totally just made that up.
Start your art. That's a good one. I haven't heard that in a while. Morgan, are you ready to start your art? Oh, she just said, oh, that was Gina. Morgan, are you here?
I am here, and I am ready for the start of the art.
All right. I love an artist who does a reference that we can all clearly see. We have something very clear in our minds about whether we get on goal there. Wow, this is really interesting. Speaking of that, such a sort of crude initial sketch for this refined portrait, but obviously there's a lot of time left.
Yeah, Anthony Campos. And look how far back he's holding his brush. It's kind of the farther that you hold your brush away, like the farther up, the more kind of loose you're able to make your strokes. I think that this is Emma Ludwig, and she describes her work as being whimsical and uplifting. So definitely getting some uplifting vibes already with that super bright yellow.
I think this is Anthony in the red shirt there. I love what's going on already.
And here we are with Matthew.
Cool. Already used a lot of the colors on the palette there.
Gonzo style. I'm really interested to see what that means exactly.
Is that in the artist bio?
It is, and was also in our announcement of how Matthew was introduced. So Gonzo style.
Gonzo style. I do not know what that means. Does anybody out there on the interwebs know what Gonzo style means? Feel free to comment on YouTube, and we are also watching on Facebook. In case you're wondering, now is the time to share this art battle with friends. It's the most interesting opportunity and the greatest voting impact. You get people on now, they can vote in both round 1 and 2 and help us determine who the winners that will proceed to our 4-way final round. Just send them over to artbattle.com/vote or share whatever URL you are currently watching.
Great movement here. I'm not sure if this might be our wildcard artist.
That would be Serenity if it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is a hell of a wild card if this is a wild card artist.
Yeah, so much work done already here. The initial sketch is already established, and she's going into the skin tone now already, kind of working in those highlights and contrasts.
Oof, this is a beautiful gradient we're dealing with here. I think it's a seascape. And wow, she could stop right here, and this is an unbelievable painting. I still think we're going to see a bit more, but I am digging this. And check out that brush, a really, really wide and flat brush. I love those wide, flat ones.
Yeah, the gradient here is so interesting because we're getting kind of this almost like a periwinkle blue, but then where there's a little bit of cloud and transition, it's kind of warm. So that's really interesting to me, that warmth with right against the cool colors in such a subtle way.
Yeah, it mirrors the darkness at the top and the bottom, and you get a lightness in the middle. It's a very That's an experienced sailor right there, somebody who's had a lot of time on the water and is reflecting it well. Another powerful background gradient done in only a few minutes. I don't know if we're going to get a mushroom out of here or if this is it's a jellyfish. The classic jellyfish move. Very good. But the audience loves a jellyfish. Audience, let us know. Do you love a jellyfish?
I think that this might actually be our wild card.
Yes, that makes sense. We can't see the names.
Yeah, our camera person is kind of hopping all over.
Let me ask them.
I love the way that this artist is now bringing that same periwinkle into the waves there. I love when an artist does that, kind of takes the accent color or takes a part of color from a major part of the painting and then brings it in as an accent into another place in the painting. Such a great way to harmonize. So this is Emma Ludwig, easel number 1, and she was the artist that we initially saw holding that cat reference.
Wow. I mean, oh, look, it's a super macro of that.
Yeah.
The little tongue in the bottom left corner. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's really neat, actually. Usually the reference, the artist is replicating more or less the whole reference, but this is a super macro crop. And that's a playful and fun take on reference use in Art Battle. So bravo to Emma.
And also definitely using unconventional color choices as well. Almost taking like the reference of a house cat and bringing in like jungle cat coloring.
Oh my God, look at this painting.
I know, Anthony's so good. I was really, really excited to see him paint today.
Holy moly. That background color and the way that that figure is popping off that background because of the shading on the left and the right of the face, but the very, very perfectly clean line on the top. I mean, I'm guessing we're going to see something up there. I don't know, a head or something or more hair. But even as it is right now, that figure, though the whole painting is actually pretty flat, feeling in its individual elements, the portrait is absolutely jumping off the canvas there. Very nice. Bravo, Anthony.
That's such a great comment of that it's flat in its individual elements, but it's still popping, because that's definitely how I would describe Anthony's studio work. It's kind of riding the line between realism and illustration and playing a lot with planes and how light is expressed. And we can see that in that he's using a super opaque background and then creating all of these delineated shadows and highlights in the face already. I'm so excited for the next 11 minutes of watching Anthony work on that portrait. And here we are with Matthew, and we are getting lots of gradients tonight. I think that this one is more intentionally chaotic, though, rather than smoother gradients.
Yeah, exactly. The sort of staged gradient, still a gradient, and it allows us to sort of feel the movement of it even more than be sort of lulled into it as with some of the others we've seen.
Definitely more of an aggressive energy.
What is going on here? This Gonzo style. There's obviously something is going to happen in the middle at the end. A lot of white space. This is so interesting. It's such a puzzle.
So I'm looking up Gonzo style art, and it looks like Gonzo style writing and art was influenced by Hunter S. Thompson. And
course, right.
For anyone that's familiar with Ralph Steadman as an artist, but there's kind of like a concentration of this kind of chaotic, unapologetic energy. Here we are with Bernadette, and Bernadette's piece is definitely indicative of her studio style, which she describes as being dark and strange. definitely illustrative. And she says that she likes to take things that are kind of more darker and surreal and disturbing, and that's what she finds beautiful. So she's bringing in kind of expressions of beauty from these more creepier themes.
I really like, we saw this actually in a couple of portraits at the Seattle event last night. I like that she's completing most of the portrait, but leaving the eyes and the mouth till the end. So obviously we know where she's going, but it gives it something of a heavy detail area to focus on in the last few minutes of the painting, and it also allows it to have this feeling of sort of coming back, this feeling of coming to completion right as you're watching it.
Yeah, that's such a great audience engagement tool as well, because they're all like, they want to see that moment. They want to see the pop.
Yeah, exactly.
Lara Freeman. The sky.
Really nice. Really nice. This gradient. It's interesting. We've had a couple of these sort of, odd-shaped waters. That boat is almost climbing that wave now that we can see here, and contrasting to our first round with sort of the sun water. And also an element of sort of white splash. So a lot of echoes between the work tonight.
Yeah, and the textural contrast, too, in this piece is really wonderful. We're getting so much smoothness from the gradient in the sky, and then also the softer expressions of the brushstrokes in the waves, and then that being contrasted by the palette knife work to kind of create those crests.
The only thing, if I were to ask for anything from this painting, is the black line work that outlines the sailboat is too thick. It's a minor complaint. It's still a very powerful piece, but it's just something about that. It makes it feel like it's sort of disconnected from the underlying painting. This is a very good jellyfish.
I would love to see that softened as well. And yeah, I like we've got a little fam. Little jellyfish fam here.
Yeah, and the same with Jason Slagle doing the side of the canvas. These are 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inch gallery profile canvas, and it's really awesome to paint the sides of it. Again, if you're considering participating in the auction, it's really nice to have a painting that is of that style. No frame needed. Yeah,
and Serenity has also carried the composition totally over the side as well in the gradient. I think that's the word of the night for us. But it's not just that she's finished the profile with a single color. She's actually totally carried over the composition.
Yes.
So I think I spoke too soon with the jungle cat colors.
Right, yeah, those were jungle cat background colors. This is an intense cat. Wow.
Yeah, he mad.
Yeah, and the white space that's now being filled in is really that's a good strategy. We saw the background, and then sort of that eye and ear come in. And now a lot of time left, still 6.5 minutes or so, to get some of that sort of whisker detail in the main foreground. The framing of this is fantastic. I really like how it's framed, and it passes off the intensity of our feline friend.
Yeah, very intense. Back with Anthony here, and this piece is so well realized already. Oh, I'm so happy that we're catching this moment.
Yeah, with the drip, totally intentional drip. Stop the drip. No, I'm going further. No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't let me complain about the drip. The drip is, the red band is fantastic.
Yeah, that the way that it's providing so much contrast, and it's we already thought that we had a focal point just in the portrait, but it's really created that kind of that punch where your eye immediately wants to go.
Yes, exactly. That is where you must start. You almost don't have a choice, especially with the drip, because it's such a combination of like an in-image element and a painterly element, and you can't help but look right there. Which
look
is
at the way that he's adding in the highlights now. There's almost like a sculptural quality with the way that he's adding in the white.
yes, amazing. Great work, Anthony. We have seen Anthony paint a few times at, oh, look at this. So that was all white space when we last checked this out. I don't know what we're seeing here. There's definitely going to be some kind of a character that comes through. It almost feels like it's a space worm. Silhouette, yeah. We're going to see it here. There it goes.
Art battle's intense, guys.
Yeah, Matthew's got the shakes. He doesn't want to get it wrong. That is very endearing. Really nice. That's worth a couple of votes there.
I have been there, and it's a hard place to be. I've definitely endured the AB shakes.
Wow, I haven't seen that so directly before. Very cool. It is intense.
Definitely an ominous presence going on.
Well, we're talking about the concept of the day, the gradient. I love this gradient. That sort of stage development. It calls back to graphic art, comics. It's really, in a way, it's sort of more present than the smooth gradients that we've seen in a couple of the other work.
That's a great way to describe it, more present. And speaking of presence, lots of presence from this character that Bernadette is working on. I'm slightly concerned with the negative space. I would love to see that being taken care of, but with less than 3 minutes on the clock, we'll have to see.
I bet she's got it. That's a bit of careful black small brush work, and she's been excelling at brush work. But she is definitely running out of time. This is, I think that she would be happier with another 5 minutes rather than another 2 and change. Our clock is a little bit out of sync. I think we are 10 seconds ahead. Back with Lara Freeman.
And we've seen Lara extend the cloud now.
Wow. It's a great piece. I'm really into it. Oh yeah, look. The blurring, we're getting some mist coming over top of that boat now.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting some of that softening that we were looking for.
Yep, she sees it too.
I really enjoy how sparing the crests of the waves are, because I think it would be so easy to really overdo that because it's such a point of satisfaction. But having only done 3, I think it's so much more impactful.
Yes. And they're only, even within the 3 that are there, it's still kind of subtle. Yes, the white is there.
This is an interesting technique backwards.
What's that?
Serenity. Look at this. Look at this technique. She's turning around. Oh, she's not doing it anymore, but she was doing it, painting behind her back almost.
Very interesting. What a sassy character. I don't know if you saw that look she gave us. We were coming around there. Very nice. It's a great jellyfish painting. It's not going to be the first jellyfish painting that's been in Art Battle. It certainly won't be the last. But it's one of the good ones. I'm into this. I bet this sells for a few bucks at the auction tonight.
Yeah, interesting to get one in Texas, though.
Yes. Well, Texas is a coastal state, although they're pretty far from it in Wichita Falls.
Mm-hmm.
We have about 10 or 12 seconds remaining. We're a little bit ahead here. There we go. Our clock is up, and another 8 seconds or so. We're going to be hearing brushes down. We'll get the local venue audio. See what that
trowel or a shovel, or what was the medal?
Well, a very powerful second round as well. Audience, you've got a tough job. Artbattle.com/vote is where you have to go to do that job. Put in your name and phone number, and you will get a voting ballot sent directly to your phone, where you will also be able to bid on the auction. Help us choose the winners. There are 2 artists from round 2 and 2 artists from round 1 going on for a 4-way final round. We will determine the ultimate champion of tonight's event, AB 2322 in Wichita Falls. And the winner of tonight's event will go on to the Wichita Falls City Championship and ultimately the Texas State Championship. And ultimately the U.S. National Championship, which is set to be this just in, a little bit of a secret announcement, but on April the 1st in Daytona Beach in partnership with One Daytona, right across from the Daytona International Speedway. So get those votes in. It does matter. These artists want to represent. They want to be there for you and for us, and we will be very pleased to have your votes.
It's very great. Oh my gosh, y'all. Absolutely amazing. And you've only been doing this since 2016, 18.
Yes. Practice every single day.
For how long?
4 hours a day, maybe more than that, maybe 8 hours a day, many hours.
Many hours. Okay, well, that's amazing. Oh, it's going to be so hard to vote. Okay, I'll let you get your final pictures. All right, y'all stick around, don't go anywhere. We're gonna clean things up. If you haven't, vote. It's such a hard thing to do is vote for your favorite for round 2. The final 2 will advance to our 3rd round here in just a few moments. You're gonna click on the picture and then scroll.
In the end, she did not, in fact, fill out the eyes and the mouth detail on that, Morgan. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. We're on mute?
No.
Nope. Okay.
It's still a good piece. Oh, look at this. It's so interesting. Matthew also left, the silhouette of this sort of worm-like creature with just the tiniest 2 little glowing eyeballs. That's a great painting.
It's got such an ominousness.
And yet it's like the angle of the eyes to each other suggests like it's somehow non-threatening and if not playful, like maybe there's a sadness there. But I don't feel threatened by this weird space worm silhouette somehow.
Yeah, I get Yeah, I get that vibe that you're talking about with the sadness. I think it's just in like the gesture of the body.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh man, no.
Wow.
Oh, could say so many things about this Anthony Campos piece.
I would be shocked if Anthony did not make it to the final round. We're picking two artists from this round to go on to the final round, and that is an incredible piece. And more importantly, perhaps, I think everybody wants to see. I bet there are enough people in the audience who want to see what Anthony can do in a second painting that there's going to be some votes coming in there.
And
Let me
a
just take
30-minute final.
Is it?
It is. It was. I just heard our announcer saying a 30-minute final for the final round, and it really is pretty stunning to see how impactful those extra 10 minutes can be.
I'm looking at the votes here. We have one round with clear winners and another round with very close. So if you're on the edge and you're not sure if you should get in there and vote, you want to know if it really matters, it very well may be the deciding vote. We will be back in only a few short moments to announce the winners and to begin a 30-minute final round.
All right, let's give a 5-second countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start yours. 30 minutes on the board allows for potentially a lot more detail.
But we now have 30 minutes on the clock for this final round of Art Battle in Wichita Falls. Our final 4 artists are Tiffany Morrow, Coco Karma, Anthony Campos, and Lara Freeman. I can't say that I'm surprised with any of these artists making it to the final. These are some really expert artists, and we've seen them already create some really phenomenal work tonight. At easel number 3, we have Anthony Campos, and I'm interested to see where this goes. Usually we would see Anthony working in a sketch of a portrait at this point. This is what we're used to seeing from him, but we so far are seeing what looks like the creation of a foreground. And moving over here to Lara Freeman, and a lot has happened already for Lara on the canvas. We have a huge amount of real estate covered already. And again, these canvases are just slightly bigger for the final round as well. So a little bit of excitement there with a larger canvas and the addition of 10 minutes into the final round. And we can already see that Lara is doing this beautiful blending work that we know her so well for.
Hello, I think I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Mic troubles. These canvases are huge. You said a little bit bigger, but I don't know. I mean, they were pretty big in the first round, perhaps, but this canvas is dwarfing Lara here.
Yeah, they are big. Definitely adding to the challenge of the final round for sure.
I am very excited about all of these artists. Tiffany's work here. I really, really love that horse in the first round, and she's going with a similar color scheme and approach, and I can't wait to see where she takes it.
I think that we might be getting another horse.
That would be fine with me. There's no number of horses is too many horses.
That's true. I do love horse painting, so I'm not going to lie.
Especially since I really feel like that last horse was sort of wearing a suit. You go roll back, you check it, you tell me about audience if anybody's watching, you think, oh, that horse wasn't wearing a suit. Well, you should go check it out.
And a fun point too is now we can see Tiffany is putting feathers into the mane of this horse here. And we can see, of course, that she has feathers in her own hat. That's so fun.
That is fun. Wow.
So much action.
So much action. We are a mere fraction of the time in, and Coco has done incredible coverage already. On 4 minutes in, and this huge canvas is already totally covered.
Yeah, it's enormous. I don't actually think that I realized how big it was until I can see these artists physically moving their bodies to accommodate the size of the canvas and how much work they need to get done. And Coco has got us off to a super vibrant start with this piece.
And this is a very different initial approach compared to her first round, where you may recall, we saw that sort of perspective waterfront pagoda with the warm natural colors, hypercolor colors together. And this is nothing of this reminds me of that, which is very exciting for me because I think Coco is really trying to show us the breadth of her skill for as an artist and the techniques.
Yeah, can't wait to see how that piece comes to fruition. And I'm also so interested with what Anthony has going on right now, because this is so opposite to the initial approach that we saw from him in his qualifying round.
Amazing. If you want to see Anthony's other work, if you're not registered, you can go to artbattle.com/vote. And if you just click on the artist names where they're underlined on their voting page, you can take a look at their past work.
Oh, that's such a cool feature, because then you can contrast what they're doing in this battle with what they've done in previous battles.
You can make sure they're not painting the identical painting, which doesn't happen that often. You might think, oh, they painted.
I always seen it.
but you actually can go in and see you haven't seen it, and they really do have the ability to create an unlimited number of beautiful and unique paintings.
Wow. So we're getting lots of color blends happening right now, and I can't wait to see if Anthony's going to do a portrait or not.
Lara's floral still life on top of this amazing gradient background. She's achieved so much in 6.5 minutes. This is already a very, very strong piece. And in particular, look on her brush. She's got the green at the tip of the brush, and she still has purple on that brush. So in those strokes, you're getting the tiniest hint of purple in the green strokes. That is a unexpected and really, really pro move.
Yeah, and just even looking at the brush control, there's almost like a flick happening. Okay, it's happening. I'm happy.
Yes, exactly. Now we're seeing more Anthony, his tried, tested, and true style of sort of this a blocky, rough stroke version. I don't know if you heard that, but Anthony was saying that he only very recently took up painting. And our announcer asked, how did he get so good? And the answer was he just paints constantly, many, many hours per day. And so to see that sort of very rough line sketch transform into such a refined piece as we saw in his second round painting, really, really great. And no doubt we're going to see more of that right now.
Yeah, and such a testament to the dedication of his craft. Tiffany's execution of the horses reminds me so much of my absolute favorite artist, Marc Chagall, who painted horses in a very, very similar style, with these exaggerated shapes and curves.
I love the feathers, and it's so nice that it does echo her own outfit there. A lot of time left to fill in this white space, and I think she's going to take that opportunity.
Look at the sculptural quality that Coco has going on. Just going into this portrait, we are just under 10 minutes in. We're 9 minutes in only, and I feel like Coco is off to such a strong first third of this round. I really feel like she's established exactly what she wants to do, and now it will be a matter of honing what she's working on, and I'm sure that there are going to be some elements of surprise thrown in there as well.
Love the color work here. Obviously, she's a master of this color choice, and I would not be surprised if we see a few surprises in the latter portions of this painting with a little bit of color play. Oh my God, this is a very, very precise, and Morgan, I completely agree. The sculptural aspect of this is very satisfying.
Heading back over to Anthony here, And I can't wait to see the way that this portrait builds on top of the color field that he's got going on right now. I'm wondering if it's going to be kind of a ghosty image over top, or if he's going to be incorporating these colors into the face in a more holistic way. Definitely reading a lot looser than his first round piece. And I'm wondering if that theme is going to continue into the next 20 minutes, if this piece is going to remain more loose.
I bet not. I bet we're going to see it slowly resolve itself into just as refined as we saw in the first round.
That's one of my favorite things about Art Battle, is just watching the evolution.
Yeah, and the strategy behind it, you know. Not only the strategy is just getting the job done, of getting to the final image that you have in your head, but keeping the audience engaged along the way. It used to be really just getting the job done, but as the competition heats up, speaking of competition heating up, oh my god, I've not seen a still life floral this good in quite a few battles. This is a fantastic piece.
Yeah, this is wonderful. Lara's mastery of light and shadow, and the way that she's able to establish both light and shadow sometimes in the same brushstroke with that layering technique that you were talking about.
And the color, as you see in, for example, Coco's piece, the background color exists in stark contrast to the foreground. But here, there's, I don't say it blended, but obviously they're very complementary colors.
Yeah, there's absolutely elements of harmony there.
Yeah. Yeah, harmonious colors. Yeah.
So now getting some more graphic editions of red from Tiffany here.
Wow.
This definitely looks like a battle beast.
Yes, a warhorse.
Yeah.
Very cool. That was Gina's comment many circles ago. Very cool.
I know that we have so much time left, but I'm also really enjoying kind of how untouched the nose is and how graphic that singular nostril of the horse is. I'm wondering if that's going to be left untouched as a point of contrast, or if that's going to be more incorporated. I like it the way that it is now. That's part of the pain element of Art Battle a little bit. Is when you want an artist to stop working,
that you would not.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, I think you got your answer there. She's right now working on bringing that sort of lighter skin tone into the horse's nose. So when we get back, don't worry, she won't make you watch it. When we get back, we'll see.
Oh, this is cool.
What is this? And look at this color again. This is more along the lines of that sort of hypercolor, technicolor, color choices that we saw in a portion of the first piece, and they're making an appearance here again. Well, I really appreciate how consistent she's been with that aspect of the sort of the color choice integration, and that's very cool to see. She's having a bit of trouble working with that wet background, but I don't think it's going to give Coco much difficulty.
Yeah, it looks like she's adding in some orange to kind of lend it a little bit more opacity. I think is understanding that, like, okay, doing that yellow right over top is maybe not strong enough, and so she's adding in more pigment to kind of help it compete a bit.
Interesting. Anthony's piece is still quite loose here. We're at the pretty much at the 15-minute mark. We're halfway through. And he's really gone into focus on the detail work. I don't know what to expect here. Very interesting.
I think that this piece is going to be leaning into the surreal, and that it's going to be a collection of elements that then kind of make a face, like very Dali-esque.
Yes.
And that hit of highlight above the lip, too.
Getting a bit more white paint there.
Full service team, gotta love it. I'm loving the paint pants. I'm always a big fan of paint pants.
We saw some great paint pants last night. Go from white, untouched, brand new pants to paint pants by the end of it.
I love it. So in the spirit of Art Battle. This piece is so realized from Lara.
Yeah, 14 minutes remaining.
Like, what is going on? And it's so like done.
It's so done, yeah. And honestly, as long as she doesn't, make a mistake from this point on, I think she might have it in the bag. This is a very powerful piece.
Yeah, it's got the flowers really in their own presence, kind of jumping forward. And then we have all of this color play going in that she's introducing right now. And then we have the softness of the background. There's already so many strong elements.
There might be too many elements, though. On that last look through there, I was seeing it was getting a bit busy. I think each piece is still very well executed, but
that's going to be her challenge now. In the next 13 minutes is to not overwork this piece. The way that Tiffany has done the shadow underneath the head as it's falling onto the body is really nice. Definitely giving us that sense of the face of the horse coming forward and the body receding.
well, I think the white space nose was really nice, but this feels a little bit more holistically consistent with the figure. I'm not mad at that skin tone nose.
Yeah, I agree. It is it's now more married into the rest of the piece.
It's interesting. This echoes the cat that we saw in the previous round. This like half face, close crop eye. Very cool. The echoes we see between the work.
And we see Coco is still working on bringing in these elements of foliage here. Oh, and the way that the lips of the figure are pursed, it almost looks like she's blowing out these leaves. That's a cool way that's a cool tie-in.
Mm-hmm.
And Coco's so relaxed, too.
Yeah, good vibes from this artist.
Mm-hmm. And now I think that Coco's red/fuchsia background has dried to the point that she can now add these brighter pops on top. We're definitely seeing that they're going on a lot more opaque at this point.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of doing this in a 30-minute round. We're about 30 seconds away from what would be the end of a normal round, so that extra time does give an opportunity for a few more layers and layers of technique.
Yeah, absolutely. And it gives the audience an opportunity also to see like what these artists are capable of in this bonus space. So it's like, you liked what I did in 20 minutes? Now give me 30.
Yeah. But it's it's not a guarantee for success. That additional time does not, it doesn't always translate. There's a real risk of overpainting, and I hope that all of our artists tonight here can avoid that fate.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're really used to painting in the 20-minute rounds, the addition of the 10 minutes can end up being almost overwhelming. And I think that people can't, um, you can't really discount that this is a very physical act. This is action painting. You're on stage in front of everyone, standing under all of these lights, painting. It's a tiring thing. So even the extra 10 minutes in this 30-minute round does have an impact. Yeah, getting those ghostly blends coming around. Definitely more of a surreal take on a portrait here, and very much kind of leaning into these storytelling tools of the different symbols. We're seeing Lara moving a lot more slowly as she's working on this piece, and I think that is great. I love seeing that. I think that that's based in very careful decision making, so that she doesn't overwork this piece.
Yeah, and I think largely she's avoided that fate. And fortunately, a lot of the brushstrokes in the background are very consistent with each other. One of the things that I really find difficult to, get excited about in a final piece is if you get a lot of overwork where it's really inconsistent. This style here, another style in another spot.
Mm-hmm.
But her approach back there has been pretty on. And it's a very brush stroke centric approach, especially in the background. And so that painterly aspect, I think, gives it a nice feel, and it makes it really feel like an art battle painting. So I think she's still on it. 7 minutes and change.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy in this piece. So it's a very peaceful subject and color palette, but there's a lot of energy going on through the brushwork.
I'm going to go check out how the auction's doing on this. Anybody is welcome to participate both in the voting and in the auction. To get your ballot for both voting and bidding, head over to artbattle.com/vote and just put in your phone number and your name, and we will send you a text message voting ballot. Now, here's a little tip. The final round paintings are often go for an absolute steal in the auction because there's just not enough time and everybody's sort of already into those other pieces. So if you're watching and you like any of these pieces and you're thinking you might like to have them, especially if you're local to Wichita Falls, because these are big paintings and the shipping might be a little bit complicated, get in there, artbattle.com/vote, throw in your information. Bid, and we can, if you're local to Wichita Falls, we can arrange to have these dropped off to you.
Ooh, good Art Battle pro collector tip there with the auction info.
Yeah, watching those third rounds, they, it's often a good idea to tune in, just sort of pop in for the end of round 2 and enjoy round 3. Absolutely some real steals, and obviously they have their own special place because they're winning paintings. Well, there's a winning painting, but certainly the other ones are finalists as well.
Snagging those pieces. And seeing Coco adding in these extra highlights now. Just giving us that point of contrast and really helping to get these foliage elements to the forefront they're not necessarily a background kind of decorative element anymore. They're much more active in the composition. I like those little hits of blue. That's unexpected.
Yeah. Coco is a real wizard with the color choices. Um, and this is absolutely a mark of her experience there. You can't know that those colors are going to work right unless you've tried it before. And she's really got a great sense there.
Loving that. Loving that introduction of the patterning onto the face.
Well, now we really are down to the wire. 4 minutes and change remaining. And Morgan, this is exactly what you thought all along. We have a relatively surreal and abstracted face imposed with additional imagery. Very cool. And I appreciate the contrast with the pretty realistic representation in the first round. And I think that really, literally and figuratively, this is taking people on a bit of a journey. I think I hear the crowd thanking him and giving praise, and I will jump on that train.
Yeah, the storytelling elements of this piece and just the execution of each individual section, I think is really well done. But I think honestly my favorite part of this is how wispy these chunks of color coming off of the face are. I know that this is acrylic paint, but the way that this is applied and the way that it's blended out so softly is really reading like pastel or even oil paint.
Yeah.
So Lara here softening a little bit of the brushwork that we had in the lower portion of the painting. I think that's a good decision. 2.5 minutes only remaining on the clock. Voting, I believe, is now open. So you guys can decide who is your favorite artist from this edition of Art Battle Wichita Falls. One artist will be crowned the winner and will then move on to the Wichita Falls finals, which is a pretty exciting opportunity.
The white highlights with only, 90 seconds remaining. This is a great painting. This is a real journey. This painting was phenomenal within the first minutes, and each stage of it has introduced something new, and I love where it's ended up.
Absolutely. And usually I love to see the profile painted, but she's actually kept the profile of the piece so completely clean that it's acting as its own kind of finish.
Mm-hmm. Nice observation.
Lots of texture here from Tiffany. It's been really a joy to see the way that she's building all of these layers and the different application techniques that she's using here. And again, just looking at the artist's bodies in relation to the paintings, these are huge paintings. I don't think I realized
They are
that.
huge. They are huge paintings. I don't know if we're going to get a size on these, but they are ginormous.
I feel like this might even be a 36 by... Yeah, 24 by 36, I think is what I'm going to call it. 30 seconds left. Loving this blend of that purpley pink, just creating that sense of depth around the character. Such a thoughtful application process here from Anthony. Really, really great planning work.
And there we are, brushes down, artists, brushes down.
What a strong event.
Yeah. Yeah, look, our MC is blown away.
I know. I love seeing the expression on her face. Just so much joy walking around seeing the works.
Amazing. Well, it's time to vote. If you haven't already, artbattle.com/vote, or click the link. You can use the same link to vote in each round. And don't hesitate to get in there and vote and bid, and we would be thrilled for your assistance to help us determine the winner.
Every vote truly, truly counts. Oftentimes we see the vote count coming down to even just 1 or 2 votes. So if you're having a hard time deciding, just go with your gut and pick one, and you could really make the difference for one of these artists.
Okay, thank you. Great show.
Back at you.
Good night, Simon.
Good night, Gina. You guys are up now. Talk to you soon.
So many different styles represented tonight. I gotta say, there's definitely been some favorites for me amongst all of the works. And if you go to artbattle.com/vote, you can also have the opportunity to see all of the works that were created here tonight. Great work from Coco here. So much kind of collision of color. I really, really enjoyed the way that Coco has blended the purple into the red. I think that just adds such a wonderful sense of depth. And then from Anthony Campos here, this amazing, I would say, Dolly-inspired, surrealist storytelling piece is just so powerful and so thoughtfully executed as well. We would love to hear from you guys in the comments about what some of your favorite pieces were tonight. Who will you be voting for? And also would love to take an opportunity to remind everyone to follow us at Art Battle on Instagram. And for Wichita Falls, we are Art Battle Wichita Falls. And all of the artists that you have seen painted or painting here tonight have been shared on that platform as well. So if you want to follow them on Instagram, we have their links up on the Art Battle Wichita Falls IG as well. So many wonderful textural components from Lara here, and such a pleasure to watch her build this piece. Great energy and connectivity here from Tiffany. That eye contact is so emotive and so strong from this warhorse here. This piece is very much based in energy both in kind of the confrontation almost of that strong eye contact, but also energetic in its brushwork. And finally, back with Coco Karma here, and just wonderful execution again of this kind of surrealist treat from Coco, and a totally different piece from her first round qualifying, but still so many consistent stylistic elements, which is a very difficult achievement for an artist to retain kind of that recognizability across different subject matters. So hats off to Coco for that. The votes are rolling in. And we will have our winner announcement very shortly. So make sure that you go to artbattle.com/vote and get your votes in. All of these pieces are up for silent auction, so make sure that you go to artbattle.com/vote. That is also your bidding link, and you can bid on these pieces to take them home with you. Not only are you supporting artists and collecting one of these amazing pieces and appreciating its aesthetic value in your home, but you're also collecting the memory of witnessing it being born. And that's a really unique way to collect art, and one that's very unique to Art Battle. Would also like to take an opportunity to give a very special shout out to our team in Wichita Falls. They have such an incredible presence in the Art Battle community, one that is so supportive, and just they absolutely put on a really well-run show, and so we appreciate you, Wichita Falls. And here we are getting the opportunity to get kind of a tour through all of the works created this evening. This piece by Raquelle Richard, our first round piece by Tiffany, the one that scored her a spot in the final round. Still so much energetic brushwork from Tiffany. This very careful execution and planning from Jason. This really illustrative execution from Kayla as well. Really got to say that I'm enjoying the way that Kayla approached most of the portrait with this kind of washy approach. And when I say washy, what I mean is that the pigment of the paint has been diluted with water and then provided more points of contrast by using a more concentrated version of that pigment. And that was something that I noticed about Kayla's work when I had an opportunity to review some of it before the show. So very stylistically consistent there. And back with Coco Karma here. And I just think it's so cool how both of Coco's pieces are so completely different, but you can still tell that they're by the same artist. One of my absolute favorite pieces of the night by BC Gilbert. This is such a great example of an artist who is really great at their style. You can tell that BC is used to executing in this way, but it still feels so fresh. And here we are with Leif Mcgillian. This was our opening artist. So Leif had just about 45 minutes, I believe, to execute this portrait. And Leif is really well known for working solely in black and white and is such a master of contrast and light and shadow. This piece from Emma here, our kind of semi-confrontational cat with that really intense eye contact there. Our wild card, Serenity, treating us to this family of jellyfish here. And of course, Lara's first round piece, so much wonderful subtlety here. And she made some really great decisions in terms of where she wanted to concentrate the action. Bernadette Roberts, I really enjoyed the way that this piece came together in the end, and how she filled out that negative space that we were a little bit concerned about initially, and then she just kind of brought it home, which I thought was great. Matthew Turner, how can someone imbue a piece with so much emotion being that abstracted and that kind of this simplified shape? Just the addition of those 2 points of light for the eyes really brought it home for me. Gotta admire that. And then, of course, I think we're starting to pass it here, but Anthony Campos' first round piece, just such a well-executed portrait that has such a great emotive quality to it. And then, of course, our 4 final round pieces. Looks like we are getting our winner announcement here. We have all of the participating artists from tonight making their way to the stage. A huge appreciation from the crowd. I'm sure that that's a really special moment for these artists right now who are so used to living their lives alone in their studios and creating in isolation, having the opportunity to be on stage and standing in front of a crowd clapping has got to be a really special moment. And a big congratulations to these artists for their display of creativity and courage tonight. It takes a lot to step up to the easel and create in front of a crowd. So we are so appreciative to all of the artists that we work with. And again, if you want to support these artists on social media, make sure that you go to Art Battle Wichita Falls, and we have all of their different profiles linked if you want to give them a follow.
We would never have got the national battle here, and they continue to put out every time. I work really hard, and they continue to put out every time. The winner, I work really hard, is Lara Freeman. On behalf of Art Battle Wichita Falls Association, all of you Wichita Falls and everything, we present you with a $100 prize. Thank you very much, Lara. So there's 5 pies. There's still whatever's over there. There's liquor over there, beer, maybe some water. Thank you so much. Put November 5th on your calendar. Yes. Oh, okay.
So you can still bid on the art, but if it goes 5 minutes and there's no one,
A massive congratulations to our winner, Lara Freeman. 2 absolutely stunningly executed pieces. An absolute pleasure to watch her create. And we will have the opportunity to watch Lara create once again in the Wichita Falls regional final, which will be coming in the spring. So be sure to watch out for that. And in the meantime, thank you so much to everyone for joining us. Big shout out to Bob and Debbie, who are the center of our team in Wichita Falls, all of the wonderful volunteers that we have seen putting this show together, and of course you are wonderful viewers. Stay tuned to the Art Battle Facebook for more live shows coming up very shortly, and you can also find our upcoming schedule at artbattle.com. Good night, everyone.